What's going on in this trial is so crazy. It has lawyers all over the country streaming about, like, doing live streams talking about this trial now. People who haven't really been paying attention that much, but when they found out that a lawyer was about to get locked up, they're streaming all over the place. And I love it because we're getting more information. We're seeing how egregious it is. Lawyers are saying, what is going on? Lawyers are saying, this doesn't make any sense. So it's not just me. It's not just us. It's not just us fans of the fans of trials. It's not just the fans of YSL. It's not just people that live in Fulton County. It's people all over the country saying, what's happening? What is Glanville doing? You understand? And then the icing on the whole trial cake, the craziest, probably one of the craziest, besides Brian Steele getting locked up is pretty crazy, or threatened to locked up, Woody. Kenneth Copeland being the craziest part, because we're finding out, just like, we knew that the state's case was weak, right? But we didn't know just how weak it was. No, Steele didn't try over 300 cases. Steele tried over 300 appeals. Think about that. 300 appeals. So, like, I forget who said it earlier, he really knows the law on another level. Like, he got 300 appeals under his belt. 33 years of law total, but 300 appeals. It's different. If you go to Brian Steele's website, you can see he's getting all type of cases overturned, right? He's very diverse. He don't just specialize in, like, criminal gangs, or he don't just specialize in, well, he's getting all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff I don't even want to say on here that I do remember. I just don't want to say, right? Yeah. Oh, no, this is for sure going to the Supreme Court. There's no way around it. Only way it don't go to the Supreme Court is if Glanville cuts it off right now and say, let's just do this mistrial. I don't even want to go no further with this. Mistrial it up. End it. Like, bad conduct by the prosecution. Y'all can't retry them. Like, dead this whole thing. That's the only way it's not, you know. I don't think that the state has enough information to beat them anyway. I mean, to convict them anyway. But you got to think about how embarrassing it is, right? That you have built this case. You have built this case up on Kenneth Copeland, when the reason that the state wasn't able to get a full trial the first time they locked somebody up for the Donovan Thomas murder was because Kenneth Copeland was lying. He is the sole reason, because he was lying. And y'all decided to come back and think you could wrap this whole thing up. Y'all thought y'all could wrap this whole thing up in a RICO case full of petty crimes and think, all right, we'll just get the murder convicted like this now. But it's still all hinging on the same person that y'all know for a fact is a liar. Like, he has he probably never told the truth in his life about a crime. Y'all know for a fact that he's lying because y'all dealt with him lying before and messed another case of y'all up. So they really thought that they could do the whole, you know. I've seen some people saying that there's no hope for them because the judge is unfair. But I do think, at minimum, it still has to go to a jury. I think it's 0% chance that they get 12 people on a jury to give them a guilty verdict. I think there's a 0% chance. Because a lot of us have been talking about, yo, when is the mistrial going to happen? When is the Supreme Court going to step in? When is the higher court going to step in? But we're forgetting about the fact that it would still, even if this trial completes, we get closing arguments, all that, they still need the jury to completely agree that they're all guilty. I don't think you get that. They haven't, even with them doing all of this, what they've been doing with this Donovan Thomas thing, they haven't even shown how Young Thug is even related to it. They pretty much just said, the writ of Matt Damon. That's funny. They pretty much just said, hey, Young Thug rented a car. And then they just backed up out of it. They just never brought the car back up. They never said, yo, that's the car right there in the video, ain't it? Nothing ever happened again with that car. They just brought up a car and then they got back out of there. So there's none of this is even really making sense. They don't, it's really, really, really crazy. I've been talking about this joint for half an hour, but I did want to also, let's read some of these comments real quick. His actions reflect his military training. Although they follow most judicial practices, military law can be more militant and absolute, and Glanville was exercising that same principle. Still is not in the Society of Defense Lawyers, so that's why he got all of them to come to defend that fast. Hippie Easter said, I hope we never see a trial like this again. I doubt that any jurisdiction will ever waste this much money to try something like this again. Him and his wife, he tried over. Okay, this is definitely a new case law. Okay, yep. I heard that Hilton and Bumpus are close friends. I think so too. On his appeals, he's 50%. That's why the judge do not like him. He beat him on appeal already. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard he got one of his cases overturned before. He's not presiding over a military tribunal. He is in a people's court. Oh, he is? That's crazy. He has mentioned a few times he had to take up some military court matters, though. He said that a few times. In part, in the past 2 days, the judge is trying to flip the script, siding with the defense more than ever. Yeah, he need to side with the defense in front of the jury, though. That's the issue has been his treatment of the defense in front of the jury. That's the issue. So all of this like off the record stuff and all of this recess and all of this sidebar stuff that they doing where they like trying to be fake tough on the state, that don't matter if the only thing the jury sees is you yelling at Brian Steele, telling him that he unprofessional and not prepared and all. If that's all they remember, they're not supposed to be watching what's going on right now, even though some of them probably are. They thought nobody would take it to trial. They did think, well, they knew somebody was taking it to trial because they never offered Young Thug a deal at all. To my knowledge, they wanted to convict Young Thug like in the worst way. Glanville won't do that because he is complicit with the state. Kendrick follows most of the Supreme Court. Okay. Let's see here. They don't connect the dots. They didn't connect the dots on nothing. You see how they just keep jumping from like overt act to overt act, and they're not making any of it connect to a conspiracy. Because they do realize that conspiracy meaning like, you know, we planned this or we like talked about doing this or something. They haven't said anybody has planned any of this stuff. Right? I appreciate that, Eric. They haven't said anybody has planned any of this stuff. All of this is just a bunch of random crimes that happened. And then remember when they did when they talked about the 9/11 shooting in 2013, like without them ever proving that Young Thug was even there, Adrian Bean is not in YSL. He's not charged in this crime. And then the other dude, Big Fred, he's not in YSL. He's not charged in this indictment either. So there's only one YSL person that they found and they know for a fact was even there. So you don't have a YSL conspiracy there. You have DK being caught committing a crime, and really he was caught shot because supposedly that wasn't even a stolen car. Supposedly the guys gave them the keys. So it's not even like they stole it, right? So y'all really, so where's the conspiracy there? I don't know. It's just one YSL person and he just committed a crime on his own, or with a separate group of people. And then you have the, well, I guess if you want to say the conspiracy with the whole OG Bentley and the gas station thing, because he called them up there to do that. But I don't, the reason I don't like the whole with the Dexter Montgomery thing, and I'm glad he survived and all that, is because they already convicted them and they already went to prison for that. So I wonder how confused the jury is on that about, they already got in trouble for this, so how are we going to do this again? Tony Evans said, as a police officer, this is embarrassing. It's crazy. They only proven people committed crimes as individuals. Facts. Remember, they started out the whole thing with like, did you find, like, you caught him in the car, he had 3 grams of weed on him, right? It was very petty crimes.